Narcissistic personality disorder is a topic that I'm very, very passionate about. It's very, very near and dear to my heart because I dated a narcissist for 2 years. After we broke up, I literally felt like I had just gotten run over by a train. And it ended up landing me in therapy for 2 years. And I realized that I wasn't recovering from a breakup. I was recovering from a relationship with a narcissist. Now, it's easy to look at me and say, girl, you need to get yourself some self-esteem. You need some self-love so you can prevent this in the future. You should have never put up with that treatment in the first place. You must have zero self-esteem. And you know, I do agree with that to a certain extent at the time, but honestly, I truly feel like a victim of narcissistic abuse. I feel like I was sucked into a twister, chewed up and spit out. I call narcissistic abuse the silent killer. I think it's death by 1,000 cuts because it's very, very difficult to detect. And so that's why I want to shed some light on this subject and to go through all of the aspects of somebody with narcissistic personality disorder so that you guys can keep your eyes and ears open and stay away from it. Don't try to help the person. Don't try to rescue them. Don't try to anything. If you see these signs in your romantic partner, my advice is to run and to get counseling immediately. Please, please. I really don't encourage people to view themselves as victims because I think it's disempowering. In my intuitive counseling, that's not what I encourage people to do. I encourage them to be more in control of their lives. But in this case, I really can't see anyone who experienced narcissistic abuse as anything else really but a victim who literally got sucked into a twister. Okay, so these are the signs of somebody with narcissistic personality disorder. Number one, they're show-offs. They love showboating. And in order to have you on their arm, you better boost their stock price. You better look hot, you better act charming, you better make everybody in the room laugh at that party. If you embarrass a narcissist, you better run. You're done. Even if it's by accident, don't ever, ever embarrass a narcissist. They are huge show-offs, and they're all about appearances. Outward appearances, what people think of them, just taking over a room and being flashy. Number two, along those same lines, they're extremely self-centered. It's all about them. If they are going to the grocery store, suppose you live with them and they're going to the grocery store, it wouldn't even occur to them to get anything that you like. It's like, oh, you like ding-dongs? So? Oh, you like Coach purses? So? Like, they don't care what you like. They're just not very thoughtful. You know, your wants and needs, like, who cares? They don't have any consideration for anything you like or prefer. It's all about them. They're extremely self-centered. Now, this is the biggest one. I should have actually made this number one. They don't have any empathy, and this is huge. I don't want you to think that this is just somebody that watches the animal rescue commercials and doesn't cry. It's not. Somebody with no empathy literally scares me. At this point, if I'm talking to somebody and I get the feeling that they don't have any empathy, I'm literally like afraid of them. You could be bleeding in the middle of the living room floor and a narcissist will walk up to you and say, hey, what's for dinner? It's just, they don't care. They will say mean things to you. And if you burst into tears and just curl up in a fetal position crying your eyes out, they don't care. They don't care that you're crying. They don't feel anything for you. They don't have the ability to put themselves in your shoes and empathize with you and show you any compassion. They don't care. They'll just sit there and stare at you while you cry. I remember at one point I was crying because my ex-boyfriend had said something really mean to me, and I said, you're the closest person in the world to me. Do you understand how much that hurts? And he's like, I don't know what you want me to say. It's the truth. So, like, couldn't care less that I was crying. Couldn't care less. Number 4, very high opinion of themselves, delusions of grandeur, I should be running the place kind of attitude, very, very inflated sense of self-importance, like especially with their job and just their presence in general. You're lucky to be around them kind of thing. Now, one of the things that I really truly feel helps pull you into this twister is a narcissist's self-love. This high opinion of themselves, you just get sold. It's like they sell you on themselves. They have just such an amazing, encompassing self-love and high opinion that you start adopting this high opinion of them. It's like you're buying what they're selling. So that's one of the ways you get sucked into this twister, is by their high opinion of themselves. You end up adopting it and truly feeling like you're lucky to have this person in your life. And they agree. They feel you're lucky to have them in your life too. Now, on the converse, and I don't really want to confuse you, lying below the surface, the narcissist actually has very low self-esteem. That's where things get a little contradictory. So I want to touch on that because it's not psychologically healthy, but at the same time, it's very difficult to understand showboating, self-centered, and high opinion of themselves, and then brewing beneath the surface what's psychologically beneath all this is somebody that actually has very low self-esteem. So I just wanted to touch on that, but I'm not going to go into depth with that because it is very difficult to understand and very contradictory to what they're displaying outwardly, because I never saw that. In my relationship, I personally never saw anyone with low self-esteem, but it's what I read in all the books when I was playing Nancy Drew and studying this topic. Okay, now, these guys, because they're somewhat insecure at their core, they need compliments. This is called narcissistic supply. Narcissistic supply. These guys are thirsty, thirsty, thirsty for compliments. They eat compliments for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So if you're just a very, very sweet person and just naturally compliment people in everyday conversation, they're just gonna eat it up. They're just gonna suck it up and just love it. If they ever get cut off from narcissistic supply, they'll drop you like a bad habit though. So that's something that's actually really, really important to them. Now, this is the final TKO for anyone that has ever been broken up with by a narcissist the way I have. They do not take any responsibility for their role in the relationship at all whatsoever. What they're going to do when they break up with you is they're going to take this world and essentially place it on your shoulders and just make you feel like the worst human being in the world. They're going to make you feel like you suck. That there's literally nothing good about you at all. That this relationship failed 100% because of you, not because of them. They're perfect. They're wonderful and amazing, and they're perfect. And the relationship failed 110% because you just suck as a human being. So they're going to place this entire world of responsibility for the breakup on your shoulders. So you do end up walking away feeling really defeated and really deflated and just like a piece of trash, essentially, that was just thrown away. So that's why I encourage people to get counseling, is because of the way narcissists break up with you. They really just put it all on your shoulders, and it's extremely painful. They're not kind. They don't care. I mean, there's no empathy. So you could have been the nicest girlfriend to them in the world. Like, they'll break up with you in a mean way. I mean, I remember my parents being shocked because my ex-boyfriend was literally like a member of the family. You know, my dad's coming over and bringing vegetables from his garden and, you know, treating the guy like his son. My parents' jaws were on the floor. He said, what to you? How did he break up with you? What do you mean? Like, they couldn't even fathom how he broke up with me. It just didn't make any sense. So, but to them it does, because it's all about them. It's done. It's done with me. See you later. Bye. And so that's pretty much the highlights of what I wanted to share with you guys. Again, I really do call this the silent killer, and it did take me a while to recover from this experience. So Please, please, please seek counseling or book a session with me. I will give you compassion times 10 if you can relate to this stuff. I swear. And another person that I want to refer you to, his name is Sam Vaknin, Vaknin. He has his own YouTube channel with over 335 videos. He is a self-proclaimed narcissist, but he's married, happily married. I think he's still happily married. And he is a PhD in psychology. So he psychoanalyzes himself and helps shed light on narcissistic personality disorder. And he's amazing. He's actually the one that I learned a lot of this stuff from post-breakup when I was playing Nancy Drew online. So again, if you've experienced any of this, you have my heart, you have my compassion, and I wish you nothing but love, light, and healing. In the meantime, take care and be well. Thank you.